Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pete Mangione with your Pinpoint weather and traffic together every 10 minutes. TJ Del Santo, you can't see him, but trust me, he's there. He's right off to the side, updating the website, also passing me this information. The public schools are closed for Foster Gloucester, and we also have many delays, so you can check our website for more information. In the meantime, we look at a situation where it's been snowing heavily all around us, but not really on top of us. Look at the difference in these amounts. West Bridgewater, Massachusetts, 12 inches of snow already on the ground. Mansfield, 10. Taunton, almost 9 inches. Then we really start to trim these amounts down. Woonsocket, you have 4 inches of snow on the ground. That, at least, is the most recent report. Fall River, just over 3 in Providence at 1 inch. So a few miles making all the difference in the world with this storm. And between now and noon, we will see some accumulating snow and very gusty winds. Then this afternoon, the snow mix tapers off. It'll still be windy. So, I mean, it will be slow going for the commute. It won't be impassable, but definitely you want to allow some extra time. And as we look at live Pinpoint Doppler 12, these light shades of blue are where the lighter snow is. The darker shades are where the heavier snow is. And it continues to come down at a pretty good clip here in places like Somerset, northern Bristol County, Massachusetts. Some of these bands have advanced into northern Rhode Island, a light to moderate snow being reported up towards Woonsocket and northwestern Rhode Island, but quite light from places like Warwick down into north and south Kingstown for the most part this morning. But occasionally we'll get some moderate, even heavy bands passing through as all of this moisture is moving from the east to the west in this direction. But we've been kind of in a hole in the heavy snow overnight right here in Rhode Island. That's why we don't have quite as much as our neighbors. Now, as we look at the latest wind advisories, it's for the south coast only. It goes through tonight, actually. Could see some gusts at the shore up to around 45 miles an hour. And we don't have any local flood warnings for southern Rhode Island or southern Massachusetts, but the east coast of Massachusetts getting pounded repeatedly, high tide after high tide. Places like Scituate, Mass, getting some just devastating flooding because these winds are pushing the water towards the coast, the eastern Massachusetts coast. This wind direction does help us out because it avoids usually major flooding across southern Rhode Island. So that's the silver lining with this forecast. We're not expecting any flooding across the Rhode Island south coast today. Now, as we look at Providence, the temperature is at 30, Block Island at 32, Newport, you're at 30, New Bedford 33. Basically, most spots at or below freezing this morning, so most of that snow will stick, although right now those temperatures are borderline there in New Bedford. And the snow machine will be going for several more hours at varying intensity as that storm is sitting actually well offshore, but several spokes of energy kind of rotating around that storm. Hence, we've seen some of these heavier bands pass through Connecticut and Worcester County, Massachusetts, and into eastern Massachusetts, and occasionally into Rhode Island, just not quite as frequent. We can time this going hour by hour with our Futurecast. The blue represents the snow, and you can see 6 o'clock in the morning, some off and on snow possible. We continue this trend all the way through 9 o'clock in the morning, with the heaviest of the snow appearing to be here, Bristol County, Massachusetts, Taunton, Somerset, into places like Smithfield. Westerly, a good part of South County, probably not nearly as heavy with the snow. It'll be less frequent, and when it comes down, it'll have a harder time sticking. You'll see my snowfall amounts coming up in just a minute at the conclusion of this exciting forecast. As we go into the afternoon, the rain-snow mix starts to taper off. It will stay windy, though, all the way through the evening with some of those coastal gusts up to around 45 miles an hour. Even inland, it's windy, just not quite as windy as at the coast. So here is that updated accumulation map. It's a really bizarre-looking map because we've been kind of in this hole here in Rhode Island. 2 to 5 inches for Providence, 3 to 6 for most of northern Rhode Island, Cumberland up into Attleboro. That's where those amounts will really start to pick up. 6 to 12, and one of the reasons I've had this already because we've already seen amounts 12 inches in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. A TJ saw a report here in eastern Connecticut of 12 inches of snow. So you can see that jackpot kind of riding right over the top of us, and then not nearly as much down here at the south coast, around 1 to 3 inches from Westerly on into Newport and Jamestown. 7-day Futurecast shows it does get better as we head into the weekend. 40 degrees, partly cloudy on Saturday. On Sunday, we're at 45 degrees. TJ has been constantly updating the website. You can find his updates over on WPRI.com, and of course we do